up your YouTube, search for Stukeley Meadows, watch on your big screen.
Or another device if you're at home.
Get yourself comfy, this could take a while. What a happy scene. Something new every day for your long-term memory. This is so exciting, it is nearly time for a Stukeley assembly. Good morning or good afternoon everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday reading assembly. For each other we, every day we, to improve we, together we will. Every single Stukeley day we focus on. Our Stukeley motto is, our Stukeley curriculum is, our Stukeley plan for home learning is. 4 words that make the magic happen. Yes, they do. Right everyone, you'll notice that behind me I've got some, you can't really see the lights. Hang on a sec, hang on. Oh, there you can't see me. You can't really, you can see the lights now. Hang on a sec. Oh. Anyway, these are your Christmas messages. So every time, and we'll do this in the festive bit at the end, every time I get a Christmas message to read out, I'll read it out and I'll put the picture up there. There are the 5 that we had yesterday. I've got some more today, and you've got to send them in. Send them in, I'll read them out. Okay, we're not going to do the author warm-up because we've only got 2 reading assemblies before Christmas. Last week we finished Macbeth. This week everybody can listen to the story this week and next week because we are going to go back to a Dickens classic. Oh yes, Christmas Carol everyone. I think we've read this twice, maybe we've definitely done it once in reading assembly. Can't remember if we've done it twice, but we're going to read Christmas Carol. It's a Stukeley tradition. It's an abridged version. It's a thin version, but there's lots in it. I'm going to read lots today, some next week, and I'll probably have to finish it off at some point. Don't know when. So let's get cracking. Christmas Carol, Charles Dickens. I'm going to show you the characters first, just to try and get your memory going a bit. So here are the main characters. We've got Scrooge, Bob Cratchit, Tiny Tim, Jacob Marley's ghost, and then the 3, Ghost of Christmas Past, Ghost of Christmas Present, and Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. When I said this story was for everyone, it's a little bit unsettling. A Christmas Carol. Bah! Humbug! Complained Scrooge. Fools wish me a Merry Christmas. They should be forced to sit on cushions stuffed with holly leaves or boiled with their own Christmas puddings. Go away and take your Merry Christmas with you. I don't like Christmas. Scrooge is a really miserable man. But Uncle, I'm wishing you a Merry Christmas even though you don't like it. Remember that. Scrooge's rosy-cheeked nephew turned back as he left the office. Uncle Scrooge, you can come to us for Christmas dinner if you'd like. Scrooge said nothing. As his nephew left, all the warmth went with him. Now the office was cold. Cold was cheap, and Scrooge liked it that way. In the dim light of his inadequate fire, Scrooge muttered humbug again and went back to counting all the money at his desk. In another room, there was Scrooge's office clerk. Now, a clerk is somebody that helps you out as like an assistant. His name was Bob Cratchit, and he sat scribbling furiously at his desk. He had said Merry Christmas to Scrooge's nephew, but he was always a bit afraid of what Mr. Scrooge would say. And you, Bob Cratchit, why are you so merry? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Scrooge. I suppose you'd like to stay at home tomorrow and spend Christmas with your children, said Scrooge. Oh, yes, please, sir. I would dearly love it, sir, said Bob Cratchit. Why should I pay you to stay at home? Christmas is just a reason for picking my pocket. I shall expect you in early the next day to make up for it. Yes, sir. Yes, certainly, Mr. Scrooge, said Bob Cratchit. Poor Bob pulled his scarf more tightly round his neck and blew on his hands to try and warm them up. He then got back to his work. The one piece of coal that Scrooge allowed on the fire was starting to die away, and it was taking all the warmth with it. But for Scrooge's clinking money and Bob's scratching pen, the room was silent. Clang! The bell rang above the door, a cheerless clang, and it announced the arrival of another unwelcome visitor. Merry Christmas, sir, said a portly, smiling gentleman. Is it? Muttered Scrooge. It should be, sir. Christmas is a time for goodness, for giving. I'm collecting for homeless children, that they might be sheltered and fed this Christmas. What? Exclaimed Scrooge. Are there no prisons, no workhouses to do the job? Unfortunately, sir, there are lots of them. Then beggars do not need my charity, grumbled Scrooge. His cold hands sent the stunned gentleman back out the door, and the bell gong, clanged farewell. Bob coughed and rubbed his hands together. Mr. Scrooge, his boss, was a grasping, scraping, selfish old sinner, hard and sharp and very, very lonely. As Bob reached for a new coal for the fire, Scrooge snapped at him. Go on then! Go on! Go and join the other fools out there on this Christmas Eve! Thank you, sir! Thank you, said Bob, and he scuttled to the door, put on his coat, and before Scrooge could change his mind, he shouted, And a Merry Christmas! Go! Shouted Scrooge. Humbug! He muttered as the clanging bell echoed his loneliness. Right, so what we've got so far is Scrooge. He's our main character. He owns a business. He basically collects money from people. He's miserable. He hates Christmas. He hates people. Everyone else is getting ready for Christmas. Scrooge is not. He doesn't like it, and he's treating the people that work for him badly. So although he's letting Bob Cratchit have the day off for Christmas Day, he wants him in work the next day early. The fire died, the candle was extinguished, and all his money was locked away. Now Scrooge pulled the door closed behind him and stepped out into the street. He looked up at the sign above the door. Scrooge and Marley, it said, even though Jacob Marley had been dead 7 years. Scrooge was so tight with his money, he hadn't bothered to paint out the word Marley. He'd have to pay somebody to do that. Sometimes people who didn't know the business called Scrooge Scrooge, and sometimes they called him Marley. It was all the same to him. What was not in doubt, however, was that Marley was dead. Utterly dead. Dead as a doornail. Scrooge was the only person at his funeral, and he saw his coffin lowered into the ground. The cold and the damp felt comfortable to Scrooge, not all the cheery faces of people hurrying around him. There were people eager to be home with their families, people going home to prepare their Christmas dinners, people going home to wrap presents. Although most of them avoided Scrooge because they knew he was so miserable, he felt attacked by their happiness, offended by their smiles, and he hid in a shop doorway to ignore the horrors of a boy singing Christmas carols. So here are all the Christmas folk, and here is Scrooge. Bah! Humbug! He said. Eventually, Scrooge reached his front door, taking a longer route home to avoid all the carol singers. Scrooge slid the key into the lock, and as he did so, something made him jump back. He gasped, stared. The old brass knocker on the door had grown a face. Scrooge blinked, hoping the image would disappear, but it stayed. The face's deadly, cold eyes stared at him, sending a chill through his flesh. What he saw was impossible. He saw the face of Jacob Marley in the door knocker. Scrooge entered his house. The door slammed shut behind him. "Nonsense," he said. "Humbug. Stuff and nonsense." It was dark inside Scrooge's house, but he decided not to light a candle. Darkness was cheap, and Scrooge liked cheap. He glanced back at the front door, then felt his way up the stairs because he could not see. Once in his room, he looked around before getting undressed, climbing into bed and pulling the covers tightly up to his chin. Cold, dark and still. There was no sound but his own breathing. Scrooge was disturbed by the vision of Jacob Marley in his front door knocker, and he was finding it hard to sleep. Jingle! Scrooge stirred. Tinkle! Scrooge's wide eyes looked over the covers. His eyes were drawn towards the movement of a bell, old and dusty, which hung in the corner of his room. That bell never ever rang until now. Clang, clang, clatter, bang! This wasn't just the bell. There were loud noises outside the bedroom door, and a booming sound came up the staircase. Bang! The door was blasted open by a violent cold wind. Scrooge shot straight upright in bed. Through the darkness, he again saw the deadly cold eyes of Jacob Marley, and as Scrooge stared, he noticed that Marley, or actually Marley's ghost, was bound by heavy iron with chains, padlocks and cash boxes that clanged when he moved. "Nonsense," muttered Screen. "That's not a real ghost. I'm having a bad dream. I must have eaten too much cheese." Talk to your teachers about that. People say that if you eat too much cheese, it gives you bad dreams. "No, Scrooge, this isn't a dream," whispered the chained spirit. "Nor it is a nightmare. Scrooge, this is real." It gave Scrooge a frightful fear in his body, and then he gave out a yelp. Marley, the spirit, clattered his chains. See these chains?" I see them, said Scrooge. "Hear my words. Hear my words." I hear them, said Scrooge. "These chains I made during my life on earth. These 7 years past, I have been sleepless, restless, knowing only sorrow." The ghost of Marley was talking to Scrooge, and he was terrified. "I spent many selfish years doing business, ignoring you, ignoring people, ignoring the most important thing, life. I was too busy with money, and now I suffer." "Humbug, nonsense, bad dream," said Scrooge, blinking hard to get rid of the spirit in front of him. "Listen," continued the spirit, "whilst you have the chance, see through your window." Scrooge listened to the spirit and had to obey. He moved over to the side of his room, and when he pulled back the shutters, he was chilled to the core when he saw the cold night filled with spirits, all chained like Marley. "We all made others suffer. Now the suffering is ours," said Marley. "We are eternally doomed to wander this earth, seeking to do good, but being forever miserable." Scrooge looked in horror. Marley, his dead friend or partner, was all over the sky in front of him. "Please, no more," said Scrooge. "Let me sleep, let me sleep." "Expect more spirits tonight," said Marley. "Please, no," said Scrooge. "Let me sleep." But he was exhausted, and he fell back into bed, saying "Humbug," as he slid into a deep but restless sleep. Right, we're going to finish there. I'm going to tuck something in the book. Now, we're not going to finish that next week. I'm going to have to do 2 extra readings. I'll probably do a bit more in Celebration Assembly on Friday, and then we'll have some more next week. Anyway, Christmas Carol, hopefully it's coming back to you. Do you remember we read that in the hall together when we were allowed to? We all sat, in fact, we read it just before lockdown, I think. We read it in the December, and then 2 months later we were locking down. Okay. Cheerboo Song or Silence, it's a brand new one. It's somebody who's not done it before, and basically she just gets the giggles. We all get the giggles. It's a great moment. Check this out.
Will they get to cheer or will they get to boo? With either one there must not be violence. They may well get a song, but it will not last that long. We really hope they do not get silence.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the Cheerboo Song or Silence studio. It's starting to feel a bit festive. I wish we had Santa behind the curtain, but even better than that, we got Mrs. Gibbs from year 1. She is ready to come out, but will she get a cheer, a boo, a song, or a silence? What do you think? Oh, come on, let's find out. Out you come, Mrs. Gibbs! Brilliant times. Mrs. Gibbs does not know what to do with herself. See you next time on Cheerboo Song or Silence.
Will they get to cheer or will they get to boo? With either one there must not be violence. They may well get a song, but it will not last that long. We really hope they do not get silence.
You've got to watch that back, because Mrs. Gibbs is just loving life in that. She can't believe she's finally doing a song in Cheerboo Song or Silence. Okay, we're now going to finish, first of all, with birthdays.
Hey, 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 it's time to say we've got a Stukeley birthday. Hey, 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 it's time to say we've got a Stukeley birthday.
Oh, come on! One Stukeley birthday today, and I knew about this boy because I was in his class yesterday and he said to me, tomorrow's the big day. Happy birthday, Ezra, in year 2. Hope you had fun with your family at home, Ezra, and all your friends in school as well. Happy birthday, another year older. Brilliant news. Right, let's move on to everyday knowledge.
And we are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, everyday knowledge for you. And we are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, everyday knowledge for you.
I'll tell you what, I spoke to Mrs. Corley yesterday. She said, I love everyday knowledge. And then she started doing a really good impression of me when I do that. And when I do that, she did a great impression. Mrs. Corley, be careful what you wish for, because one day you can come to the garage and you can do everyday knowledge yourself. I promise you. Right, okay, let's get cracking. Okay, let's start off with Europe. Here it is. Whoa, love the map of Europe. Right, I don't want the countries. I want the capital cities, please. Give me the capital city of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, number 1, the capital city of Scotland is Edinburgh. Wales is Cardiff. Northern Ireland is Belfast. England is London. Republic of Ireland is Dublin, France is Paris, Spain is Madrid, Italy is Rome. Well done everybody, I'm going to slide over. Okay, we're just going to finish off really quickly now because I've got loads of festive stuff to share. We're going to say, how many seconds in a minute? 60, that's right. How many minutes in an hour? That's right, 60. How many hours in 3 days? $72. I think I said hours in 3 days. 72. That's right. Okay, give me the days of the week, but let's go backwards from Sunday. Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Well done. We're going to finish there because we've got loads of festive stuff to come. Here's that festive bit in assembly. I hope you saw the assembly window earlier. If you didn't get to pause it and write it down, do it at home, get it written in your learning logs for our next Stukeley Advent window. Messages. We got 3 more messages, everyone, and I haven't said this for ages, but it feels great. One of them is laminated. Woo! Do you remember we used to do that and have such a great time? What a lovely one this is. So Merry Christmas Day. I love a pud. This is to Stukeley Meadows. Merry Christmas. Love from Matilda in year 2. Thank you, Matilda. That is going up on our celebration, Christmas celebration wall. Yes, it is. What we got here? Oh, this is a good one. We've got Lil Petey and Molly. There we go. I love that. Let me just put that behind it. You can see it a bit better. There we go. This is to Lily. Love from Emma in year 2. Merry Christmas. I love children being creative, and adults. It's brilliant. Thank you, both of you. And then to my whole class, have a Merry Christmas from JB. So that's from Joseph B. I think we had one from his sister yesterday. Love a Christmas message. Keep them coming in. You only got 7 days left now. The last day will be next Friday for this. It's going to be great. Just before we go, before Santa, let's just do this. Oh, it's such a shame you can't see me. I mean, imagine on Friday's celebration assembly. Oh, man, I don't even know how to describe it. It's going to be great. Anyway, let me turn the lights back on for Santa. Oh, it's the 8th today. He doesn't drop, but it still feels exciting. It's the 8th today. There it goes. Tuck it in the back. Tomorrow's the big one. Tomorrow he drops. You better be ready for it, because I am. Have a good day, everyone. See you later.